Hey, Jeff let me start. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the show. As way of getting started, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a sales executive, and I do basically marketing for small to medium-sized businesses in the East Texas area.
Yeah. What do you sell?
So we do solution selling. It's basically I go to a business and identify what their needs are, and then we provide digital solutions to get there. So websites, SEO, search engine marketing, anything that takes them to where they want to be.
Yeah. So who are you selling to? Small, medium-sized businesses?
Yeah, so today,
Not today, but in general.
well, to give you an idea,
Yeah.
today I'm dealing with a golf cart dealership, and then I'm dealing with a prosthetics company, and then later today I will be dealing with a dentist. So it varies. It basically, we fill the gap between the small guys that are kind of do it themselves, can't really afford to do it, and the bigger companies that can do the boutique stuff.
Yeah.
So we're fill the gap in between.
Okay. And what's your territory?
I do all of East Texas. Yep. So it's basically between Dallas and Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah. And what's the hardest part of the job?
Oh my gosh. So we sell to just businesses, and being a small business owner previously, it's incredibly difficult not only to sell somebody who owns a small business, but to get their attention.
Yeah.
In our industry, literally, you'll talk to somebody, and 10 other people have called this person that day for exactly what we do. It's extremely difficult, and you really have to be relevant, and you have to be to the point, and you have to be knowledgeable for them to even pay attention.
Yeah. So what's your approach?
So my boss is a very good mentor for me, but he says that people have either talent or grit or a mixture of both. What I try to do is I try to approach it a little differently. Much to the dismay of my manager, I kind of ignore the KPI approach, and I pick and choose who I go after.
Yeah.
So I look for the customers that have the biggest ROI and the biggest need. Then I do research about them, and as I walk in the door, I already know the decision maker's name. I already know what they want to do with the business. I know what they're advertising in, and I also know what they want to sell, right? So it allows me very quickly to get that guy's attention and to at least give a chance to pitch.
Yeah. And how do you find all that out?
There's a lot of markers across the internet that we can use. I've been lucky to work for a company that's invested heavily into research. And so we have a lot of information at our fingertips. But, if I'm looking at like a golf cart dealership, first thing I'll do is look at their website, see if it's up to par, if it matches the things that we think are best for conversion. Then I'll run a report on spyfu.com, and I can see what their advertising is like. I can get a copy of their ads on Google. I can get an estimate of what they're spending. I can go to, Facebook and see what they're posting about. Very, very often you can figure out what a business owner wants if you just listen to what they're saying. If you look at the markers, and when you come in the door, you have a pretty good argument for them.
And how'd you come up with this system?
My company has been great as far as training is concerned. I was a business owner for 12 years. If you come in and try to sell me something and you don't know my name and you don't know what I'm trying to do with the business, you're not going to get attention from me.
Yeah.
So if you can grab them by the neck collar in a way that it's really what you have to do. You have to knock them upside the head and say, hey, listen, this is what you're trying to do. I can help you get there, and this is how, but you got to listen.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite thing to do with this is I get to go to lawyers and doctors and I get to, show off my knowledge and then just stop them in the middle of an assumption that's wrong. And just, I was dealing with a dentist. I said, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. He said, well, I tried this. I said, well, let's be frank here. You didn't do it very well.
Yep.
If I tried to pull a tooth, probably wouldn't turn out too good. That's why I pay you.
Yeah.
And,
because we all can pull out teeth.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'll have to tell you.
Let's not go there. I might faint.
Yeah. I hear dentist stories all the time. So yeah,
I don't want to hear any of them.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, but if you can get their attention and know what their objectives are, and really, in essence, when you bring it back to sales, it's solution-based selling. You build a rapport by having this little bit of knowledge. You know what they're interested in. You know what their problem is. You point it out, and then you give them a solution.
And what type of price point are we talking about? Is it a monthly retainer? Is it a one-time
Yeah.
thing?
No, ours is a monthly. So I do a mix 50-50 between account management and business development.
Yeah.
So, depending on the rep, we can have accounts that bill as little as $200 a month. My billing is on average, $1,500 and up. So
Yeah.
I think one of my highest ranking accounts is I got 2 accounts around the $10,000 a month mark for marketing.
Sounds like a hard sell.
Well, yeah. I mean, think about it. So first off, I'm in East Texas, and so we are in the wild, wild west of digital marketing. And a lot of people, even professionals, don't understand the value of it, more or less how to use the internet. So, okay, here I am coming in asking for a lot of money for something that they don't understand, they can't touch, they can't feel,
Yeah.
and you can't make any promises because it's marketing.
Right.
But if you can show them the data, give them referrals, have the confidence in the product and the product knowledge, really what I'm selling is confidence in me.
Yeah. How long did it take you to come up with what I call like a detective model where, right, because you're
Yeah.
not doing the KPI thing, which is, I think, what most people would try.
So, I'm very analytical, and the way that I approach sales is like anything. I keep hitting, closed doors, and I keep pounding until they go down. But I went through the training, and we had kind of a general approach that they've seen working, and I used that religiously for about 2 months, and then as I and trust me,
Concerted effort.
my boss, he pulls up the KPIs, and I'm like, hey, well, look at the production report, and then it goes away really quickly. But
Yeah.
I tried that for about 2 months, and then I started tweaking a little bit. And what I found is, it's quality over quantity. If you have the ability to do the research and there's an immediate need, and you can, show that there's a good return on investment to afford us, I can go in and make that argument, and usually I'll close 30% of my prospects,
Yeah.
just because I don't knock 20 doors a day. I knock maybe 2 or 3.
Right. And plus, it's kind of demoralizing. You need success, right? You can't be at that 1% cold calling rate that, and I get managers want activity, and you do have to work,
Oh, sure.
right? No matter how smart or
Yeah.
how good the quality is, you still have to show up.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. And I see new reps that come into this because, I've sold everything from commercial aquariums to industrial power plant equipment. And I would say that this industry, when you're dealing with small business owners, I feel it's one of the most difficult sales environments there is.
right.
You have an educated um, person who doesn't have time, who has assumptions, who's been burned before, that has 10 other people a day coming after him for the same thing. But what I find with new sales guys is they don't take that approach of, okay, I'm going to keep knocking on that door till it opens, and I'm going to figure out what it takes to get that door open. They get frustrated and they back down, and you just can't do that. You have to have thick skin.
Yeah. And what's your approach? Is it email first, phone call, drop in?
Hmm. I use a mix, and different reps in our company have different strengths. My strength is that if I get engaged with you, it's really hard to disengage. I know what you want. I know your name. I know your office manager. I know what the marketing is already.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's my most effective. But I use other tools. So here's another thing that people get frustrated with is, okay, if you knock on that door and it's closed, don't see that as a failure. Spend a minute, talk to the gatekeeper, and learn
Yeah.
what interests the decision maker. Can you flatter the secretary up front, and she can become an ally? I mean, I get to the point where secretaries will text me when my decision maker's in the office.
Yeah.
you
Nice.
know? So you can't just walk into a door or call somebody, not get to your decision maker and give up. You've got to use it for mining information,
Yeah.
putting it into the CRM, and the next time you have even more ammo.
And is this your favorite sales job so far?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's extremely difficult. It's extremely competitive, and it gives me a lot of freedom. Um, but it's also rewarding. I mean, I was just looking at a report from one of my dentists, and they had hired a marketing firm for dentistry. That's all they do is a boutique. And they went to me and they said, "Okay, Jeff, this is the problem. We're going from 4 chairs to 8 chairs. We're spending $7,000 a month right now. How much more do we need to give you to do this?" I said, "Listen, we'll keep the budget where it is. Let's go apples to apples, and
Yeah.
we'll change things if we need to." So they went from an average of around 50 or 60 new patients a month. Our first month was 98 new patients. So, 50% increase. Now we're a year and a half with them, and in January we had 108 new patients.
Yeah.
So it's gratifying to see success and seeing a business grow. So yeah, I mean, this is awesome. I love it.
Cool. And tell us kind of how you've evolved as a salesperson versus like the first year to now.
Hmm. Well, I've always been a salesperson. Always had that drive. Um, I think as I've progressed, I've learned that you just have to go with as much confidence as you can,
Yeah.
and when you get knocked down, you can't take it personally. You got to learn from every mistake.
Right.
And so I've progressed a lot. In my job now, I'm one of the top guys, and I get a lot of joy of trying to give advice to the guys that are coming up,
Yeah.
because I've been there. It's pretty tough to go to a different industry, but
And
yeah.
what do you see them doing wrong?
Oh boy, you know, the biggest thing,
What do you see them doing right?
yeah, the fundamental thing that I see them doing wrong is that they're selling a product and they're not selling a solution.
Yeah.
If you can't solve a problem, if the business owner can't see value very, very quickly, they're going to stop talking to you. They
Yeah.
don't care about website traffic. They don't care about Google clicks. We talk in, okay, golf cart sales, rentals, dental implants, which is a $20,000-$30,000 procedure. That's the terms that I talk to them in. I have to translate. And these other guys that just they're just so quick to tout a product, and
Right. You got to talk
you
in
got to
their language.
you got to translate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll deal with a golf cart dealer one way, and then when I go talk to a dentist or a series of criminal defense lawyers, I talk a little differently. Yeah.
And have you decided to kind of hone in on certain either verticals or horizontals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and that's another thing that I see wrong is that people don't qualify the leads that they're spending time on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend any time on a nail salon that wants to balk about $300 a month. I'm not going to do it. It's not worth my time.
Right.
Um, I only go after the big stuff. So I go after anybody that I see has large ticket items that have value and immediate need is what I focus on. Air conditioning guys, dentists, lawyers, you know, those type of things are where you're going to see the biggest success in the campaigns, and also the biggest ticket items as far as sales.
And there's probably a ton of them in your territory.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that true?
About these potential guys?
Dentists,
Oh,
lawyers, certainly.
it is the wild, wild west. I mean,
Yeah.
in my territory, we're kind of in rural East Texas, and then you have like little centers like Tyler. So Tyler's 100,000 people in there, and then we have smaller communities that come in. Um, when I was hired, they said, okay, we want you to cover a 50-mile radius. We want you to really beat that 50-mile. I don't go 10 or 15 minutes away from the house unless I have to, which is maybe once a week,
Yeah.
because there's so many. You throw a rock, you're going to hit 3 businesses.
Right. And how many do you need to do to meet your goal?
hmm So I need to get to my top tier commission. I need to get 2 sales a month with a monthly billing of over, I think $2,000 in total, which doesn't seem difficult. But when you understand that these guys are so entrenched, I mean, shoot, when I was selling power plant equipment, that was a $150,000 ticket item. I'd call up the decision maker, which was the C-suite, and I'd have a deal. It was
Yep.
easy. Here, you have to deal with people that are rational. You have to deal with people that are irrational and emotional. You
Really?
have to deal with it's amazing, right?
Irrational people? Emotional?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, the hardest part, frankly, is just getting their attention.
Yeah. Getting a little bit of time to talk to them because everyone's hounding them. And especially, the dentist and the lawyers, they're selling their time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As opposed to a golf cart place where they're selling golf carts.
So I want to touch on this too. What our company has started doing, and my company is very progressive. We learn fast, we adapt fast, and we started doing video prospecting.
Yeah.
So I'll go in front of an entrenched business owner. So I'll usually go 2 times to go see a dentist. I'll get stopped by the gatekeeper. Maybe my charm isn't enough. And
Kidding.
so everything that I've learned, I'll go ahead and make a 30-second video with their business in the background and my face as the thumbnail. And you'd be surprised. Every one of those, emails I send out, they always get opened. And I see when they open it and I see how far that they watched. When they watch my video, guess who's calling?
Right.
It's going to be
And
me.
your business is perfect for that because you're showing, you can show their current website, the changes that you suggest, and the impact that you can have.
Yeah. We show when I come loaded for a sales call, I have what they're doing now, how they're showing up. I have market demand where I can say, okay, there's 3,000 searches for dental implants alone within 10 miles of your location. And then I'll go, look, pick up your phone, put in dental implant. How many people do you see above you?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the first one that solves their problem. My search is done. And that's why you don't see many of those patients.
Right. Yeah. That's how I owned a small business. And the whole budget was spent on Google AdWords to make sure we were number one.
Oh, yeah.
Back when the AdWords, they were like a nickel,
Mm.
right? They're probably $15 today, and just crushed it,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because people just go to the first one.
Yeah, it's when you talk about an immediate need business, right?
Right.
So if you're a plumber, just think about it. The water coming through your slab in
Yeah,
your
you're not
living
going to do a
room,
market study.
you know, mama's not happy. What are you going to do? You can pick up your phone and you're going to look, and the first person that solves your problem, speed of service, quality, offer,
Yep.
testimonial, you're going to stop. That's the person I choose.
And how do you keep the right mindset without, getting on that roller coaster that we all get on in sales?
That's hard. For me, if my mind is in the right place, I'm on fire. There's no stopping me. But if I, say if I have a difficult client, or if I'm, losing my pipeline to, whatever, it's difficult. But you've got to put all that stuff aside,
Yep.
and put on whatever music you need to get in the mood. Maybe some Arnold Schwarzenegger motivational talks,
Yeah.
and you've got to come in there like a rock star. Because I tell you what, if you come into any business owner in my area defeated, you're going to get eaten. There's
Yeah.
no way. They're going to see right through it.
That's it. I covered Texas at one time, and I loved it because people were so straightforward.
Yeah. Well, that's another issue that I run into, is that in East Texas, people are extremely friendly.
Yeah.
So I'll start a conversation. They'll agree to meet with me. We'll meet for 2 hours. They're like, hey, I'm not ready to do this. And that was one of the things that when I first started working here, I couldn't get over. So now I'm very straightforward with them. Like, look, I know this is interesting to you. I know you want to grow, dental implants. Are you ready to make a decision on doing this? Are we ready to go? Because I'm going to invest time in you. Let's
Yeah.
not waste each other's time.
Right. Because part of your sales process is consulting. You're showing
Oh,
them how
yeah.
to do their business better.
Mm-hmm.
And that part's pretty much free, right? That conversation.
Yeah. I mean, they do get a lot. I mean, I'll give advice about all sorts of stuff, because talking to this golf cart place, I do almost every golf cart dealer in East Texas. So I have a lot of insight. Now I don't share competitive advantage stuff, but I give them some advice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And what do you believe about sales that most people don't believe?
I think that people that are not salespeople have this thought process of what salespeople are.
Not just non-salespeople, but other salespeople, people who aren't getting it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be successful in sales, you have got to be a student. You have
Yeah.
got to watch what the guys that are winning are doing. You've got to look at what you're doing and see if it works or not. If you're doing phone calls, record those phone calls.
Yeah.
If you don't learn, you can't get better and you're not going to succeed. But you also have to have a thick skin. But it's something you can conquer if you have the right mindset.
And how do you kind of get better every day?
I'm constantly learning. Um, I'll reach out to other high-ranking reps and I'll ask them what they're doing.
Yeah.
Um, I learn every time I do a sales call. I think to myself, okay, what made their eyes light up? What did I say? What did I do this process that made them really sparkle? And it just keeps coming back to solution selling. If you've got a very, very competitive business owner, right, who doesn't like his competitors, maybe talk about how we can geofence their business. Everybody walks in, we're going to send ads to. Um, you got to learn every time. And
Yeah.
so the biggest thing is that, first off, you got to listen to the customer, right? I go in with a hole and say, hey, this is the problem. Tell me more about your business. What are your goals? And then everything that I do beyond that point is how to get to that goal or how to fix that hole.
Yeah.
And that's how it works for me.
And what's the typical emotion that they have to feel to take action? Is it fear of missing out? Is the competitive thing, the losing?
It's a lot of things. It's with where I'm at, a lot of it is fear.
Yeah.
They know that they need to do digital, but maybe they hired the radio station who I'm taking a lot of money from, who just started doing digital in their basement. Maybe they paid them some money and they had a bad experience.
Right.
They don't understand it. They don't have time to learn it. Frankly, it moves so quickly. I
They
can't
can't
imagine
keep
how it
up.
would. The biggest thing for me is just to instill confidence that I know enough about your business and where you want to be. And I know enough about the tools that I have to make sure this is a success.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. The other thing is just, people want to grow their businesses.
Yeah. And what drives you? Is it winning? Is it not losing? Is it money? Is it being the best?
I love competition. I love
Yeah.
being the best. Um, in October of last year, I knew that I was going to win the number one spot in my region, which was my goal. In October, I knew I had it. There was nobody else to chase. I stopped selling. I didn't sell anything November, December. Um, Here we are now, and I'm in a different group of people, higher ranking guys, and I'm competing against the best of the best. And, I sold 4 accounts and, I think I'm leading the pack right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, when I have competition, and my boss knows this because he goads me. If I have competition, I do well, but I also like, helping people. I like having value in,
Yeah.
here's growth. They're doing good.
So it's friendly
And
competition.
yeah, I mean, there's enough business to go around.
Right. There
You know,
is. Yeah.
yeah,
Everyone needs it, whether they recognize it or they want to spend money on it. Because
yeah.
everyone's got a business. Everyone's got a website,
Mhm.
and digital's the place to be.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
And they know it, but they don't know how to go about it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so I take I'll have reps call me, usually once a week, and I'll spend usually an hour or two talking to them and helping them, give them all the tricks that I have. So I'm not keeping anything hidden, but I'll also call, like when I got onto the new list with the senior account reps, I called the top 2 and said, listen, I hope you're not expecting to get that top spot because I'll be there.
It
And, and,
works.
and so now we text back and forth when we get sales. So it's beneficial. They do better. I do better because they know I'm on their heels.
Yeah. And where'd the competitiveness come from? Were you an athlete in school, or were you bullied as a kid? Were you a
No,
bully?
I mean, when I get focused on something, I take it to the extreme. I was an Eagle Scout. I went and got my pilot's license. I had a business, went as far as I could with there. Um, everything I do, I try to, put everything into, and it's just happened to be sales. It's what I get the most joy out of. So it just comes across as competitive, but really it's just me trying to better myself.
Cool. Hey, this has been a
Yeah.
great conversation. Where can people connect with you?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. It's Jeff Morley. You can email me, Jeff Morley, Morley @live.com. I'd be happy to talk to anybody.